Into the heart of what truly matters, our families. Healthy families make healthy societies. I'm Randy.
And I'm Leslie. We're diving deep into the powerful insights of Dr. Randy's groundbreaking book, The Family Legacy: Shaping Culture from the Inside Out.
Hear inspiring stories and strategies to transform your family. We'll explore topics like communication, forgiveness, healing, parenting, marriage. We'll cover it all.
We'll have provoking conversations with experts, coaches, and real-life families who are benefiting from intentional family building.
This podcast isn't just about theories, it's about tools that you can implement today.
We all come from families, so this podcast is for you.
Join us on this incredible family journey. Subscribe now as we learn to do family as God designed.
Transforming families one episode at a time. Remember, whoever wins the family wins the culture in the end. Let's go.
Hi there. Welcome back to Transforming Families with Randy and Leslie. I'm Randy.
I'm Leslie.
And we have a very special guest today, a family expert, and really excited to hear from him. Why don't you go ahead and introduce him? We'll bring him in.
Yeah, we're so honored to have John Decker with us today. Just a little bit about John. He left aerospace, his business development career, and volunteer work with InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. He's helped create a national movement to reverse the 70% college faith drop-off by connecting every Christian high school student to college ministries and churches in advance. The goal is to help students have a sense of their career calling before selecting colleges, then land on campus ready to share the gospel with other new freshmen who are especially open during the first days and weeks. John has done a lot of things. This is a mini version of a little about John Decker. But John, welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you today.
Thanks so much. It's really great to join you guys, and it's been a pleasure becoming your friend in the recent months as we've met in Dallas and other places.
Yes.
Yeah. We are just so excited to hear from you and the work that you're doing. But before we do that, we always start with this. Tell us a little something about your family.
Yeah, well, I've got a wonderful wife, and we have 3 kids and 8 grandkids, and it's been such a pleasure to see these grandkids grow and work with my kids. You know, they're all walking with the Lord, which is nice, and we just we're gonna, in fact, pretty soon we're gonna all get together at a family camp and do a lot of wakeboarding and fishing and trampolining and all that stuff. So. Family's a blessing. Nothing quite like it.
Oh, that's so good. Wonderful. And so tell us, John, what are you seeing challenging families in this hour from your seat?
Yeah. So kind of in the lens of the whole high school preparation, heading off to college, what we're seeing is more and more, it's a very, very frightening proposition as you start sending your kids off to college. There's so many unknowns, and most Christian parents today understand the kind of the woke culture that is increasing upon college campuses. I mean, it's been there for many, many years. It's been built into the administration and built into the faculty and so on. But now the culture of the students themselves is becoming more dangerous. But the approach to take is realize the power of God is able and demonstrated more and more these days how this culture can be changed. We are seeing ever since the Asbury movement, where the great revival at Asbury University, there have been movements across college campuses and a sense of faith and courage that has started to sweep the country. I get a chance to be within peer and different groups. InterVarsity has within themselves what they call a revival leadership network. And I jump on these calls for 30 or 40, and they're saying that they're seeing at least double the number of students coming to Christ than they have in recent years. There's such a hunger, and God is even doing like supernatural things just on his own as a total surprise, because he is really after this generation. And it's a global thing. We're seeing the same thing in Europe and in England. And God is moving upon the young people. And so I guess the message I want to say today, parent, is take courage, Help get your kids plugged into something that will just whet their appetite and let them see that this Christian faith that's been going on is a lot more powerful than they really thought.
Wonderful. That is encouraging. That's hopeful. Because when you look at our campuses today, that you don't always see what you've just described. So thank God he's moving. And when I look at what you're doing with Every Student Sent, and I want you to tell us more about that, I'm very encouraged because so oftentimes we're way behind as a body of Christ, responding to something that's happening in the culture, and we're so far behind. One of the things I love about what you guys are doing and the strategy you have is to be more proactive and more intentional on the front end instead of being so reactive. And so tell us what Every Student Sent is about and how you're helping families and their students as they foray into woke university.
Yeah. And also helping Christian universities, frankly, as well.
Yeah.
So the birth of this came from a variety of different sources, but in my own experience, as we're raising our own students and they're going to a Christian high school, they all love the Lord, but none of them had the same spark as the first generation Christian. I came to Christ halfway through college, and right away we started, leading people to Christ, and we said, this is an amazing life, and that's how we lived it. But we noticed the second generation, as you grow gradually in the church, it's just not quite the same. And we noticed by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're getting a little bored with the faith maybe and looking for something pretty exciting at that age. And they don't realize that right in front of them is this really low-hanging fruit where if they can meet brand new incoming freshmen for the first time of their life who they don't have a peer group, they're ready to try new things. And it's a really great chance to lead someone to the Lord. So let me tell you a quick story. When I was working at Lockheed Martin, I planted an InterVarsity chapter at Syracuse University and noticed that the Christian kids were hitting the social scene and they weren't doing very well, which really accounts to the 70% drop-off statistic. But we also noticed that the non-believers were really open to new friends and new ideas, and they're not accountable to anybody because they're alone. So we said, let's try to get in front of them. And there was an InterVarsity chapter a little south of us where a student got radically transformed in the beginning of freshman orientation. And these kids, fresh out of high school, most of them have never led a friend to the Lord. And what the God had showed us is when a student finally has a chance to do that, and they experience the power of the Holy Spirit transforming their friends and bringing that new life, they says, wow, I've got the power of God inside of me, and I can help so many people. Once they realize that, then apologetics and worldview are not just boring book learning, they're essential tools, right? But you have to create that want to, and that's what we're saying to parents is trying to provide you opportunities for them to a lens to look forward and even experience things in high school that will get the students to see God is alive in their generation, and they themselves can bring new life. So what happened in this particular campus with this new student that just got radically transformed, they partnered with him and led 26 other kids to the Lord in that dorm that semester. It was like popcorn went off, physical change, like boom, 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 physical change leads to physical change, leads to physical change. And then these kids come home to their youth group and they go, hey guys, now we really understand this walking with Jesus thing. It's all about life transformation and helping your friends. So it's that. So part of what Every Student Sent does, there's a lot of things, but part of it is trying to capitalize on that, what we call the sweet spot, those first few weeks on the college campus, which means you actually have to prepare 2 years in advance. You need to have an appetite for that. You need to start figuring out, how to share the gospel and hopefully getting some experience. And then what we're actually doing is helping them figure out their career and major. We partner with Crown Financial Ministries Career Direct and help them think through the career major and what is God's plan for their life so they can really find his plan, so they will go through college and stick with it rather than change their majors 4 or 5 times and take 6 years to get through college.
Yeah.
Right. So the kind of the student experience that we're this platform and this broad coalition of all the college ministries, youth ministries, all the school associations are part of this gigantic movement to make it normal for no student to go to college alone. So when you go on the app, the student will be able to find other friends going to their future college. They can meet a year in advance, 6 months in advance, 3 months in advance, become friends, roommates, and partner with leaders. So they already have a strategy from day one when they land on the college campus. Duplicate that experience that I talked to you about that in college.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I love how strategic this is, and I might not get it right, so you might have to fix me. But you start 2 years before. Like we've got a grandson just graduated high school, right? And you don't just help them meet people and help them figure out their major or their interest level of how they want to go into the marketplace, but you also help parents make decisions and understand so many things, and you minister to parents around this new journey that their child is taking. Talk about that.
Yeah, so there's a parent page. If you go to everystudentsent.org, there's an engage menu, and there is a starting page for every different user type. So there's a page for parents that kind of walks them through the idea that they can start giving their kids this appetite and prepare them. And there's tools and things that students can use and download. There's actually courses that parents and students can go through together and really hear some exciting testimonies of what's going on campus, but some very, very practical things about preparing and studying in your career major. All great content. These are usually 5 or 10-minute videos with a lot of discussion questions. So this can be used in a church, in a Christian school, but also at home for like a great dialogue of discussing with your teen in that really valuable time as a junior and senior. Great way to bond and just bring out all your personal stories about when you went to college, go using these videos to catalyze that. And then there's lots of resources for parents. There's apologetics material from a lot of the different apologetic organizations in the U.S. We partner with Moms in Prayer. You'll see some things from that. And then it's all kind of pulling towards getting these kids in these social groups together that are college bound. But there's also social groups for parents where they can meet online and they can talk with each other. There's also a way to do this within a particular city because this is a social network. It looks and feels a lot like Facebook. So we'll create and are creating social networks in each city to get the word out, and parents can connect together, pastors and so on, and students in individual or combined social networks.
This is awesome. If you're a parent out there, I hope this creates some excitement in you. You are not alone in this journey of preparing and sending your kids off to college. There's a huge growing community of parents and students in this movement, and gosh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. What's the stat you mentioned? I saw. Is it the first 72 hours of a child?
Oh, yeah. Well, the Navigators did a study a number of years ago, and they found that the students and friends you make during the first 72 hours on campus very often dictate your entire friend group and thus your spiritual trajectory.
Wow.
The interesting part is that 80% of Christian students coming out of youth groups plan to continue in their faith. About 20% are saying, I'm ready to try something new. But 80% want to. But even those that really want to and want to take steps, the emotional connections with their roommates and those new friends and so on are so powerful, and they want to fit in, they want to be part, where it just pulls them into friendships that pull them down the wrong path, or likewise can be some of the best friends they've ever had in their life, and they grow with them, and the bond becomes so strong because when you're getting associated with a college fellowship, the students are intentionally there. They're not just being dragged to Sunday school, right? They want to be there, and it just feels different. The Holy Spirit takes advantage of that, and it's a rapid growth often and a maturity into leadership.
So valuable. That really is quite a stat. In the first 72 hours, it'll determine the whole experience. I know that that's true. And we're going to go to a break real quick, John. When we come back, we're going to learn some more about specifically how people can access the services that you have and see if we can't get some hope all up in there for our families that are sending kids off to university. We'll be right back after this.
Feeling disconnected from your spouse or children? Do you want to create a home filled with love, joy, and purpose? In this fast-paced, crazy world, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters: your family. The Family School is here to guide you on this incredible journey based on Dr. Randall Bixby's best-selling book, The Family Legacy: Shaping Culture from the Inside Out.
The Family School provided us with the tools and strategies to build a healthy family culture. It's amazing to experience the transformation.
The Family School is a game changer. Our communication has improved, along with our ability to forgive and stay connected. We now have a blueprint to raise our son and teach him how to lead his own family one day.
The support and community at the Family School are incredible. We're not alone in this journey.
Family School has impacted our family relationally by transforming how we interact with each other, improving our communication skills to create a safe environment for everyone to be open and fully themselves.
At the Family School, you'll discover biblical strategies, practical tools, and a supportive community that will empower your family to thrive.
Enroll in the Family School today and embark on a life-changing adventure. Through interactive classes, personalized coaching, and transformative resources, you'll learn practical techniques to heal, grow, and thrive as you build your family in God's design. Visit our website at www.thefamilyreformationproject.com. Start shaping your family's legacy now.
Join the Family School today. Learn to do family by design. Welcome back to Transforming Families with Randy and Leslie. We're here today again with John Decker from Every Student Sent. So John, let's say there's a family out here listening and they have a student who's a junior or senior in high school, and there's a strong likelihood that they're going to go to university, and they're in the throes of making decisions, and you're there to help them. What would that look like, and how would that happen for them?
Yeah. Great question. So I'll kind of walk you through the process and see how this could evolve over a number of years. So the first start is just jump onto everystudentsent.org and create a free account for yourself. You can create an account for a parent, a student, a pastor, a school counselor, whoever you are, you create an account. And then go to the Engage menu where you'll see your starting page for parents or students, schools, churches, etc. And then first thing to do, you can partake of the learning management system. There's a course called Thrive that's a great starting course. Like I said, it's 11 5-minute videos and some great content. Then as your student starts thinking about which college to go to, you can search any of those colleges and start connecting with the college ministries and the kids there, where the student can be proactive. They can start asking questions of the leaders and some of the students that are in there about maybe they want to go into journalism. And so they go to, like, say, ASU, and they say, they connect with InterVarsity there, and they'll say, hey, I want to study journalism. I'd like to learn what the program is like from the sake of a student. And they can hear from a student, and that can help actually their school decision, right? So that helps with that process. Mm-hmm. And then they engage with the career part of it, Crown Financial Ministries Career Direct. They can engage with that, where they take an assessment, and then they can get some counseling from a very qualified Career Direct consultant that will work with a parent and the student on Zoom to unpack the assessment and then help vector them into what are the potential possibilities for a major in career and God's calling for them. Everything I've talked to you about so far is free, but that part's got a several $100 price tag tied to it. And then there's also help if you're going to a private college, full college planning help, negotiating better deals in college. That's all part of that.
You're saying saving money?
Yeah. That's money. That's another paid service, but there's full college consulting. With some of the unique part of that is helping actually negotiate better deals in private colleges, which is very effective.
Wow, yeah.
You said something that really caught my attention, because when we're sending our kids off to college, often we'll do the road trip, right? We get in the car and we visit the colleges, and we put boots on the ground, and that's great. But the colleges are set up for these tours, because of course they're trying to sell you on the college, and it's
Right.
it's by and large it's coming from the college administrators, and access through Every Student Sent, this portal gives your student and you parents this opportunity to ask those questions, like the journalism. So you're getting students, you're getting feedback from the students that are actually there. They're not getting paid to draw you in. You're getting to talk to real people in your, area of interest beforehand. I just think that's such a beautiful tool to be able to narrow down for students. Then they can go and visit those 2 or 3 campuses.
Yep, absolutely. College is a big business. And so we've got a lot of counseling and advice on there on how to get behind that screen and make real decisions.
That's great.
So then that's around school selection and major selection. And then what else? What else there?
Yeah. So then the next thing would be, say a student's whittled it down to 2 or 3 colleges. They can then join some of the groups on that campus, get to know the students. And then the process, once they make their final selection, they can get on and really get to know some of the students in the different groups and churches in that area, develop relationships. You could, even if you do it before about May 15th, you could find someone that might be a likely roommate and become a roommate, right? All positive things. And then the summer is a time to be coached and working towards what is a strategy to help reaching the other kids in your dorm. But something that's new and we think very, very powerful is, why are you going to college? It's really to get a career and a direction. So we're helping them now build missional communities within each of the academic majors. So say you're going to be into entrepreneurship or education or economics or film and media. In each of these, through the social network, we're creating a funnel and we're partnering with some other ministries to make this, to bring in all the content, but they can find other students in their major and they get coaching how to create a missional community in that major. The end goal is to, by the time you've been there for 4 years, you and the team, you try to actually change the culture in that academic department. Let's say education, they definitely need a cultural change to produce better teachers. So, and then we're partnering with a lot of marketplace ministries like the CBMCs of the world and all those to create, when students get ready to graduate, instead of landing alone in their new city, they can meet with marketplace leaders to help them get settled, find a church that values faith and work. Because you remember the 70% loss when you go to college. Well, there's at least a 35% loss when students go from a high fellowship environment to landing alone in their new city. They just get disoriented and they end up washing out of the faith too. So we're actually building that transition. And part of the goodness of this is that these marketplace leaders are now providing content into these students and creating content in these academic, real life content from a Christian viewpoint in the area of economics or science, right? So that they are learning. And then when they transfer into the workplace, they've already got their game together and they have a sense on how they can help transform culture in their workplace, this is what America needs. The goal here is to actually reverse the loss, double the number of active Christian on college campuses, help them be fruitful, then triple the number of kingdom-minded believers who come out into society. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And we feel that God's brought together this whole coalition and vision because we're solving this problem about the laborers being too few.
Yeah, that's so good. Our roles as parents, of course, is to disciple and equip our children so that when they leave home, they're fully equipped. But you guys are taking this into that transitionary period of jumping into careers and that secondary, is it secondary education? That's the wrong term. When they're
right.
Is it okay? So when they're going off, though, it's the support that's brought around. It's not just done when they graduate from high school, right? This is what a family does. A family creates an environment that enables everybody to be seen and heard and grow and belong and fulfill their purpose. And every student sent does that, helps you parents partner as they're leaving your home, the nest, so to speak, but they're not just out there on their own when they go off to college. If, you know, some kids don't go to college and they stay in their homes, in their communities, and they get the support that way. But those kids that do go off to college need that, that ongoing support. I just think it's wonderful what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And you know, something you just said was very powerful there. The keeping the family together is so important, and being able to have the parents engaged in the whole process and being accepted by the students, where the students aren't just putting them away.
Yeah.
We're working to do it in a way that this is meaningful for the students too, and an app that they like. And so the students, they become part of the process during those critical years before they go to college. But then as they stay in the faith in college, those communication channels are even increased. And, you know, so the family is high value, you know, all the way through. And so years to come, kids and grandkids, it's really building towards that. So we so much appreciate and thank you for what you are doing with the family.
Well, we're in this together, and that partnership, I think, is going to keep growing. I know. I know this is a little bit different for some folks, but I want you to take just a moment, because there's another reality. We have this conviction and this belief, John, that culture's downstream from family. That as goes the family, so goes the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And in other words, what happens in these formative years affects the leadership structures and spheres of culture, education, government, media, because people are leading those, and they lead out of their character.
Which they got in their families.
And you had a stat on your website that shows some of this bigger impact. With that 70% drop-off rate of students losing their faith, giving up their faith after going to university, the result of that was something like, in your stat, was like a $1.4 billion loss of revenues to the church if people are loving God and tithing and the mission of the kingdom. And so in many ways, this is bigger, and it's not all about money, but the gospel takes money just like everything else. And to keep an extra, whatever, 30, 40, 50, 60% of those students serving God, following him through the challenges that are there in universities, and then on fire for God and increasing those, you're actually then increasing those revenues that are toward kingdom work. Talk just for a minute about that.
Yeah, that is so true. If you think about it from a family perspective, between the family and the church, they're investing many thousands of dollars into the student before they go off to college, right? And with this platform, as we roll it out nationally, the cost of this is only about $2 per student to fix this problem. We're already invested tens of thousands of dollars into these students.
Jeez.
We can invest $2 per student to fix this.
A year.
Yeah. So, but then, speaking to your point, you know, what does that preserve? So as you increase not only the volume, but the maturity and the kingdom understanding of these college graduates, they are bringing with them the economic engine to help America or whatever country do better. They're also earning income and paying tithes and being able to support other nonprofits. So there's a gigantic economic plus to fixing this problem nationally. It's going to help every single ministry in the U.S. and many globally from that. So it's just part of the whole culture changing reality.
I mean, this means that poor people are going to get fed, and it means that homeless people are going to get shelter, and it means that, you know, ministries to the orphans, to the widows, to, like, they're going to thrive, and that the church is going to continue. You know, that scripture says, of the increase of his government and peace, there will be no end. The kingdom is expanding. And it's so critically important that we really stop the bleeding here of our university age children, and turn it around for even more good. I just so appreciate you. Any last words? How can families, parents, students find you?
I suggest go to everystudentsent.org, and you'll see an engage menu there, and you can pick the family page or any page. On the bottom that there's a place to put in your email and a question. I'll be seeing all those as well as others in our team, so we'll respond with that. We'd love to help you out, and I suggest share with your pastor, share with your Christian school. This is an open platform. It's a collaboration of many ministries. It's just a God thing that's putting this together. So everyone has a part, including every parent.
John, thank you so much. I know we're going to find a way to share on social media or maybe on a spot on our partner page on our web. We want to make sure that the families that come in touch with us know about this resource. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah, you are so welcome. I really have enjoyed getting to know you both and your passion. So we appreciate it. And I look forward to sharing your podcast and information on our platform as well.
Wonderful.
Sounds great. Well, you know the drill.
Yeah. Remember, whoever wins the family
Wins the culture in the end. We'll see you next time. That wraps up another inspiring episode of Transforming Families with Randy and Leslie. We hope that today's conversation has left you feeling empowered and equipped to take action.
Remember, transforming families begins with transforming ourselves. Let's be intentional, loving, and persevere. You're not alone. We're right here with you.
We believe Proverbs 24:3, wise people are builders. They build families, businesses, and communities. Through intelligence and insight, their enterprises are established and endure.
Thanks for joining us today. We encourage you to stay connected with us on social media, join our email list, and learn more about our resources and classes at the Family School by visiting thefamilyreformationproject.com.
Remember to subscribe, share with your loved ones, and spread the word about transforming families. We'll see you on our next episode. And remember, whoever